So you probably remember this model, okay? Supply and demand. Why is this still here? Get it away from me. There we go. Supply and demand. This is demand. This is supply, okay? Q, D, Q, S. And the last time we've learned all sorts of things about willingness to pay, willingness to supply, finding equilibrium, those kinds of things. Let's look on a more meta level, so to say. What kind of things can be demanded and supplied? And because we've always been talking about the market of goods and services, we're going to make some we're going to see some differences in what kinds of goods and services there are. Next up after this week, by the way, is the labor market. So that's why we're going to continue up to and including, 21 or something. So afterwards, we can focus our attention on this model, but then in the labor market. That's a little bit more difficult, but assuming that most people find this quite doable, I think you will agree that it's going to be okay. So no worries there, okay? So, hey, there's a person there. Yeah. So I can see one more person then. Yeah. And okay, so both of you are now here. Okay, so let's continue. Excuse me for the interruption. Shush. Primary and luxury goods. So any one of you is probably in the know about what the word primary is. Would someone please care to give me an assumption of what primary good could mean? I'm reading the chat. Goods you need to survive. Excellent. Yeah, you make me very happy. So these are goods that you need to survive. And what should give it away if you didn't know? Yeah, exactly. What should give it away if you didn't know is primary, obviously refers to the number one. Okay, so the first things that you would need to live, and luxury is all includes things you only buy from a certain income. Things you only buy from a certain income. Dus from means in this scenario vanaf, hè? Vanaf een bepaald inkomen. So knowing this, let me create another layer. Knowing this, you can create some examples. Okay, so let's return here then. For example, a primary good could be, wait, what's this? Help. For example, hey, what am I doing? There we go. Bread, water, electricity. Oh, sorry, that's okay. Electricity. In other countries, it could be, for example, rice. And more recently, one of the primary goods mentioned is also the internet. People tend to agree that you are, in current times, dependent on internet to find the information you need to live. Sign of the times. Very interesting, if you ask me. So luxury could be anything you buy for anything that you buy that you don't necessarily need. So the obvious examples are cars, phones, I don't know, expensive shoes, not basic shoes because people tend to buy shoes anyway. Whatever. So most importantly about then primary goods. Wait, what's this? There we go. Important thing about primary goods is people buy them anyway. So price doesn't influence demand much. Influence price much. Imagine people stopping to buy water. Just to give an example, okay? If water was going to be twice as expensive, then people wouldn't necessarily buy half of the amount of water because they just need it to survive, yeah? And luxury, well, for example, if the price of an iPhone was going to be twice as expensive, I would guarantee that people are going to buy half the amount of iPhones or perhaps even less. So this is vice versa. Okay. Well, that happens. So vice versa means the other way around, okay? So price does influence, price doesn't, price, the demand is what I was trying to say here. Excuse me. Yeah. So price does influence demand quite much with luxury goods. So then the following thing is, now we know this, these are basic rules, okay? Now we know this. My question to you is the following. Have a look at the following model. This is supply. There we go. Let's grab some pretty pink. There we go. Let's grab some nice turquoise. There we go. Okay. So my question to you guys at this moment is, which line is the primary good and which line is the luxury good? And have a long, hard look to guess which one is which. And to help you along the way a little bit, because I understand this is a difficult question, take a random price point. For example, this. Let's say this is the price at one moment. Please disregard the fact that it's then a surplus of supply, and then the new price is P accent this, for example. Which one is the luxury good? Which one is the primary good? And try to explain if you can. The primary good is blue. Who has another idea? That's okay, but try to explain it for me, please, okay? Let me show you. So I'm going to help you along a little bit more. Let's grab another color. Otherwise it becomes quite, which is a contrast blue. Let's grab it. So at this point, when the price changes from P to P1, yeah, but that's also the case for what's being said is blue's luxury because the lower the price, the more demand. That's also the case for primary goods. Look, this is the change in Q, right? Change is often written by a pyramid. It's called delta. And if you take the same price difference for the other line, the change in Q for the same change in price is actually quite larger, as you will find. So which one of the lines responds strongest to a difference in pricing then? Obviously, the answer is the pink one is the primary good, and the turquoise one is the luxury good. Exactly. So the pink one says weak response to price, and the turquoise line has a strong response to price. Any questions at this moment, because this might be confusing? So just to describe the technique for you people, also the viewers watching this afterwards, it's to find which line is primary or luxury. That's okay. I'm going to summarize it. Okay. So the method to find which line is primary, which line is luxury, you just have a look at what happens when you take a random pricing and then drop it or increase it. Doesn't matter too much, and then take note of the change. With the pink line, if you change the pricing from P to P1, then the change in quantity is actually quite small. And with the turquoise line, the change from this point to this point is actually quite larger, even though the price difference is the same as with the pink line. So this one has a stronger response than the pink line. That doesn't necessarily mean, by the way, that the blue line is a luxury good, but it's definitely more luxurious than the pink one is.